The Babylon Bee is here with their fourth guidebook. This time it is the guide to the apocalypse. And like the ones before, this one looks great. The illustrations, the look throughout is fantastic. The people who put this together did a wonderful job. This guidebook, more than the three that came before it, I would say is strictly here for humor, as the bee pokes fun at various ways that the world could end, from zombies to an artificial intelligence takeover to the plague to the rapture. Now, since this is the fourth guidebook, I think now we are at the point where I can begin ranking them, like I used to rank Star Wars and Marvel movies, until those franchises made me so sad in their decreasing quality that I can't even have the heart to rank the movies anymore. But since I still care about the Babylon Bee, I'll rank their guidebooks. So I present to you the definitive ranking of the Babylon Bee guidebooks. Number 4, The Guide to Democracy. It's funny, but let's be honest. Out of all 4 of the topics that they have covered, they have the least comedy material to work with when it comes to democracy. Number 3, Our Current, The Guide to the Apocalypse. I really wanted this to be the best of the guidebooks they've put out, and while it does have its moments, there were places where the jokes didn't hit for me as hard or as well as they did in the best 2 books. And number 2, The Guide to Gender. There is so much to be used in the name of humor when it comes to the crazy views that people have on sexuality. And since many of those views are extremely harmful, they should be mocked. So this one gets bonus points for being beneficial for society as a whole. And the number 1 guidebook is The Guide to Wokeness. I don't know if the Bee will ever be able to top the original. That subject just lends itself best to being a guidebook, and there is so much insanity in the woke ideology that continues to this very day. It makes for a lot of really good humor in that guidebook that holds up to the year 2024. So let me know in the comments how you would rank them if you've read all 4, and why you would agree with me that no Star Wars movie, even The Last Jedi, will ever be as bad as the garbage that was Episode 2, The Attack of the Clones. And if you have a couple more minutes, I would love to tell you my thoughts on the third best Babylon Bee guidebook, The Guide to the Apocalypse. Welcome to Rev Reads. If you want to discover more books that will help you to survive the end of the world, please subscribe to the channel in order to stay up to date with my latest book reviews. Also, please share this video with others to help them know about the Babylon Bee's latest guidebook. Now, most of this guidebook consists of comical looks at the various ways in which our world could end, and then giving you advice on how to survive the end of the world, although you'll probably end up dead no matter what if any of these occurred, especially if Donald Trump is reelected and MAGA takes power, because we already know that no one survived the first time Donald Trump was elected to the presidency of the United States of America. Their end-of-the-world scenarios that are covered in this book are climate change, or the climate crisis, communism, the MAGA insurrection, zombies, artificial intelligence, alien invasion, pandemic, and the rapture. Now, some people who take end times debates very seriously will probably have a difficult time reading through the chapter on the rapture, because the author pokes fun at all of the various end times views. So whether you're pre, post, or mill, there's going to be a couple of jokes in here that's going to make fun of your group. Although I thought the best chapters in the book were the chapter on climate change, or that climate crisis, and the pandemic. Although for some people the pandemic humor might be a bit too soon, and for other people the pandemic humor probably won't be harsh enough. But I'm guessing that if you're a reader of the Babylon Bee, by and large, you're going to appreciate that pandemic humor. Now, I had an enjoyable time reading this book as it used apocalyptic scenarios to poke fun at various insanities in our current world. And I would say, comparing this to their earlier books, especially the books on wokeness and gender, when I was reading The Guide to Wokeness, The Guide to Gender, I was laughing out loud throughout. I was enjoying just about every single joke in those books. I would say The Guide to the Apocalypse is more light chuckles throughout, smiles through the whole book instead of outright laughter. And there were a few places, such as fighting techniques for the end of the world, where I was like, I don't really get that humor at all. So my overall thought on the Babylon Bee Guide to the Apocalypse, it was good. In some places it was funny. I did enjoy doing the Mad Libs in the book on creating the rules for my bunker and doing that Mad Lib with my family. Probably the most helpful part of this book is the Rapture Location Generator, which, based on the first three letters of your name, their handy generator will let you know where you will be when the rapture happened. And I've always wanted to know, where will I be when the roll is called up yonder? And it turns out I will be shredding guitar in a dumpster with Jackie Chan. Ha! Try to beat that scenario. So I do want to say, if you ever hear that Sean Wilson is taking up guitar and now I've made friends with Jackie Chan, be looking to the clouds because the end is near. The Babylon Bee's Guide to the Apocalypse. It won't help you survive the end of the world, but it'll give you a few laughs on the way there.